There was also a serious-looking injury in the Leeds-Bradford game to Bradford centre Amy Hardcastle, who was one of the stars for England in the World Cup.
And she scored a fantastic try earlier in the first half, hadn't she? That try,
quality player.
That try where she sort of flopped over, doing a sort of inverted somersault, the sort of thing that I wouldn't even think to do, but I would have just taken the tackle. But she managed to find a way. So I really hope she does well and gets back playing, because I mean, I really, the Bradford Leeds game that I watched, I really enjoyed it. It was a fantastic game, and it was obviously there was a little bit of needle and nudge in there. You did see that right at the end.
There was nearly a kick-off, weren't there?
Yeah, there was a nice bit of biff that was on. That was good to see, because there's just not enough of it these days. Bring back the biff. As
I mean, these players are obviously amateur players, basically, but there was, they're looking like they're developing well, these players. And there was lots of stars on display. I mean, Lois Forsell was exceptional for Leeds.
And you could see both.
She really ran the show.
And in both defence and attack, she was telling exactly what she wanted. And Hooker, for a player like that with that sort of rugby brain, is the perfect position, because she could tell them exactly where she wanted them, exactly what everybody was doing. She pretty much had a shout at pretty much every player across. Let's say, said, right, you're running this line, you're off me there, you're over there, pushing and shoving where she needed to. It was really running the show comprehensively, and their attacking shape was really nice as well to watch, and the wraparounds and some of the runs, certainly the prop forwards were putting in, were really nice. And because, of course, the reason for the extra needle, not just for the fact it's Bradford Leeds, there were 4 players in the Leeds team that were ex-Bradford from last year. Leeds obviously being a newly set up side, so that's what led to that extra edge. But
of course,
I think Leeds I really enjoyed watching, so they're probably going to be my team to follow for the rest of the Women's Super League.
There was good signs from them. I thought the left winger got very well involved with stuff as well, getting out of yardage and stuff. For Bradford, probably a few too many mistakes from kicks that kept putting themselves under pressure, and for Leeds, the problem was their ill discipline. They gave away a lot of penalties that helped Bradford get back into it. Bradford finished both halves better than the Leeds side did, I would say. But
and Leeds, again,
good start for Leeds.
They clearly trained on their defence as well. There clearly is something they would really worked at as a team. And if you just watch their line shape as much as anything, they really came up as a line and then wrapped round to really secure that ball carrier in.
No, exactly, and that's actually the first thing I'd touch on in the Wigan game, because even though there was 54 points scored by the Warriors women, it was the nil that the Featherstone ladies got that was possibly the most impressive part of it, because in this game these ladies were prone to errors from kicks, and they put themselves under quite a lot of pressure, the Wigan Warriors ladies, particularly in the first 20 minutes or so of the game, and also early in the second half as well. And they defended their line brilliantly. They held the Featherstone girls up quite a few times throughout the game, which really did underpin then what they were able to do going forward. The best player I saw all weekend, all of Sunday in these 2 games, was Becky Greenfield, the Wigan fullback. And if you've seen on Twitter, I've been raving about her because she was absolutely outstanding. She basically on Saturday afternoon, Wigan reserve played, and Morgan Escaray in the first half played at fullback, played at standoff in the second half. Not as much of an influence in the second half. It was a scratchy second half. In the first half, it was popping up all over the place, with incredible footwork that the Wakefield side just couldn't compete with. And Becky Greenfield did exactly the same thing on the Sunday. She looked like Morgan Escaray. That's the best thing I can say from her. She was popping up on great supporting lines. She was stronger than she looks. She had incredible footwork. She was ducking under tackles and then pushing the next person away and then getting off the mark, accelerating really quickly. Wigan had a few other good players. There was I think she's called Thompson, the lady who played loose forward, and the lady who came on who was wearing the 13 jersey but didn't play at loose forward in the game to start with, Cohen. She was very good. The halfbacks were very controlling for the Wigan side. It all looks really good for this Wigan ladies side. I was very impressed, and very excited for what's to come for the women.
There's going to be a few cracking games, I think, as this season moves on. Certainly the Wigan Saints game is going to be quite something, I think, from what we've seen of them so far.
Well, it's Wigan's next game, I believe, as well, is against Leeds in 2 weeks' time. But next weekend it's Bradford St Helens, on the Sunday, and it's York against Castleford, their first game on the Sunday as well. So that's interesting to watch out. Whilst I've got the page up from the paper, I'll roll quickly through the Women's Championship games. This is kind of like a development league more so, though, I suppose. Barrow 26, Wigan St Pat's 20, Lee Miners Rangers 28, Widnes 20, Wakefield Trinity 40, Hull FC 10, and that was and there was a friendly as well. East Leeds 6, Alton Raidettes 14. I think they'll be competing in the Championship 1, those sides.
Yeah, so that's again, as I was sort of banding around on Twitter yesterday afternoon, if you're at any women's game and you want to get in touch, then please do use our Google form, and we will happily read out any feedback we get.
Completely. I enjoyed these games, so I hope everyone else gets a chance to watch them. Right, NRL round 6. Let's fly through these. Roosters 14, Rabbitohs 26. George Burgess had his first meaningful game of the season, 151 metres for him. Tom Burgess outdid him though with 180.
Oh, of course he did.
In a what would have been before the season seen as an upset win, I suppose, but well done the Rabbits in that one. Storm 40, Knights 14, so Storm back on the horse. Dragons 40, Sharks 20. Graham and Widdop both played in this one. Graham, I assume, got injured because he didn't do a lot.
Yeah, I think he did pick up a knock, I vaguely remember reading. Warriors 18, Broncos 27, and the one thing I did watch, the Cowboys 10, Bulldogs 27. Cowboys just not quite looking there again. On this one.
No, I didn't. This is the one of the TV games that I didn't watch. The only TV game that I didn't watch any of because I just couldn't get round to it with all the Wigan TV footage I had to watch this weekend. It was the Canberra Raiders 18, the Parramatta Eels 2. What Elliot White had played in this one. How anyone kept hold of the ball at all in that first half, I have no idea. So well done to the Raiders at grading it out. Against this woeful Eels side. It was the Panthers 35, the Titans 12, the Sea Eagles 12, West Tigers 38. So Widdop's Dragons are now the only 100% side with 6 wins from 6 games. Panthers, Warriors and West Tigers make up the top 4. They've all got 5 wins from their 6 games.
That is a bizarre top 4, isn't it? It's just
bonkers.
Yeah, it's not right. I mean, that's definitely an incline.
The Storm, the Roosters, the Rabbitohs and the Broncos make up the top 8. They're kind of names you would expect to see in and around, particularly 3 of those 4 names. The Titans and the Knights, they also have 6 points with those sides. Two teams you wouldn't expect to see competing necessarily with those. So it is a nut start to the season. Raiders, Sea Eagles, Sharks, Bulldogs come next. They've got 2 wins each. Cowboys sit second bottom. Jonathan Thurston's Cowboys sit second bottom with only 1 win, and the Eels stay bottom and winless.
Do you think Thurston has gone on a season too long? Do you think this goodbye tour is actually, he should have bowed out at the end of last year when he was injured?
It's easy to say with the way the sides go in. I think the thing is, he hasn't got that stir of rep football to
bring him up
around, that's a worry. Where's the motivation going to be? So maybe you're right on that regard, yeah. We'll see. He could play again next year and absolutely tear it up, though.
That's also true, but it's definitely got an air of a goodbye tour this year from the way I think he's seeing. I think if he doesn't have a good year, I think then that's he's not going to be wanting to prolong as much as anything.
Are you sure? Do you think if he doesn't get any injuries this year, you might think that's not the way to go out? Unless they do what the Cowboys have done actually, and that is second half of the season. Get really good, go into the playoffs on a hot streak and manage to get to the semi-finals or something.
Well, if he's not playing Origin, he will have that time round Origin where he will be able to have more room to carve up. So potentially, yeah.
Right, okay, that's it from results from around the world of rugby league. We're going to look into the future now with previews and predictions. Right, Previews and Predictions is sponsored by Payroll Central UK Limited. It's a family-run business based in Derbyshire, offering an outsourced payroll service for businesses across the UK. Unlike many accountants who offer payroll as a side service, they are fully qualified payroll specialists. They'll give you payroll services for businesses in every sector. Visit their website, payroll-central.co.uk, and if you mention Super League Pod when you contact them, you can get a month's free payroll service and 10% discount on their normal prices. That's an incredible deal if you're running your own business and need some help with your payroll management. Okay, so it's round 12 of Super League. We've already had 2 games from round 12 of Super League. It feels like forever ago because it was almost forever ago. But we've got the final 4 games of this round, which makes it the most televised round outside of
Easter
Magic Weekend and a Good Friday and the Easter fixtures. So Thursday night we start 7:45. Sky Hull FC are on the Thursday night slot again, but they're at home this time, so no worries of M62 chaos. They host the Leeds Rhinos. I've got the Leeds Rhinos winning this one. I'm not sure why.
I have, and I'm questioning myself as well, because I wrote this down. I just did the tick sheet Leeds, and I've gone. Actually, given the form and certainly the attacking shape that FC have been putting together, I could well be.
That's reminded me why Leeds' defence is too good. I think.
Do you think? And I think they will.
Has been brilliant.
They will be wanting to hit back as well. They will feel a certain sense of missed opportunity from last week, and I think they'll be wanting to come out and put a marker down this week. So, I can see them doing it, but I don't think it'll be as close as you think.
I've gone Leeds 20 points to 12.
Yeah, I think they'll be. It won't be much in it.
But I suppose like I say, the Leeds defence is one reason why I've gone that way, and also I think they are getting back to fitness. Moon was back last week. Cuthbertson was back last week. Stevie Ward, Delaney, they're playing games now again. So I think they're getting back to fitness, which is going to be crucial. Mullally was back in last week as well. Not that he got many minutes on the pitch, I don't think. Okay, Friday night, Sky's game, 7:45 kickoff again, and it is my Wigan Warriors against Castleford Tigers. Go on.
Yeah, I've picked against you. I picked Cass. I thought.
Why?
Well. Mainly to pick against you, so there's a differential between us, as much as anything. But I think
I don't like it when that's the only justification you're coming up with, because that feels to me like they're going to win for the hell of that nonsense now.
Well, that's the team talk. That's what Darryl Powell's going to pin up on the door. You say just a spite mark. That will just be it'll just be a picture of you, just in your cherry and
Look,
white.
if he wants to listen to me talk about anything, it might be about the offside rule, so then he gets it into his head.
And things that are actually the ref's fault. Anyway, but yeah, I don't rule this out in being all serious.
Not at all. It's too competitive.
I think again, it's two sides, and there's not much to choose between them really. There's not one that you would say is comprehensively out in front of the other. So I think I would probably, if I was allowed to bet on a rugby game, I would probably edge towards Wigan just by virtue of home advantage. Not that it counts for all that much necessarily, but just by being the more settled side at home, I would probably go Wigan. But I think to add some spice into it, I've gone Cass.
I've gone Wigan 29-22, and I think the thing is, we're the best second half side in the competition, playing one of the worst second half sides in the competition. So I don't know if that'll be a huge factor in this one, but it might well be. But also, I just think that Wigan aren't playing that bad. We weren't great last week, but if we can get some good weather, which it's looking like it's going to be this week, then I'm sure some of these plays that the ballsed up against Leeds will be able to come off. And I like the way everyone's contributing at Wigan at the moment. Even Dan Sargentson, who a lot of fans get on, put in a lot of contributions in terms of his effort, and he had the break that set up the try. He had the break that set up the drop goal. So I kind of feel like he had a bit of a role to play there. Even him, who's much maligned by the fans. So Wigan to win. Okay, Friday. 2 more games, both 8 p.m. kickoffs, starting with St Helens versus Huddersfield. I'm only seeing this going one way. I've gone 40-10 in favour of Saints. Even without James Roby, I just don't think, unless Huddersfield can really be galvanised in that same way they were for that Leeds fixture over Easter, when they're going to be heavily written off, I can't see...
I can't see anything but Saints on this one. You have to take into account Brough being missing. If anything, that's probably going to do them a service rather than damage them. But even so,
well do,
yeah, the change to the lineup and whatever, and the uncertainty isn't going to help them to an extent. And Saints at home, they've been in tremendous form, especially attacking. And when Huddersfield have been so poor defensively, I can only see them walking through for a few